Hi guys, it's Gemma here. Day 3 of being raw vegan. It's just going to be a short one today because it's late and I've had a really long day. But I've had the energy to deal with a really long day, which is really good. I went for a walk with my son. We walked probably about a mile, but up and down hills. And I'm not talking about some nice gentle gradient. These hills will wipe you out. We were going to stay out longer, but it was super windy and he was having trouble breathing because of the wind. So we decided to come back home. As you can tell, I'm a little windburnt. It's just one of the joys of October in Colorado Springs. It's, warm and sunny one minute, windy and freezing cold the next, and then windy and hot 5 minutes later. But anyway, so we went out for a walk. I did my housework and everything, obviously spent the day taking care of him. I have really gone for it with the fruit today. I've had 3 smoothies, 1 banana, date and blueberry, 1 banana, date and strawberry, and 1 strawberry and mango, which was such a bad idea because the mango was not fully ripe. I squeezed it and it felt a little bit soft and I got all excited. Oh, my mango's ready. So I tried cutting it open and found out the sad truth was that this mango was nowhere near ready and I got all sad. But I put it in a smoothie anyway and ate it, so it was still good. So I had that, and then I had a head of lettuce and some carrots for my dinner and date and coconut rolls for dessert, which is good because I've been eating a lot of nuts lately. And I know that's not good. I know they're very high fat. They're not good for you. Well, they are good for you, but they're not ideal for weight loss because they're so high in fat. You really want to keep the focus on the carbs and keep it as clean as possible, and fats don't really do that. I did have a tablespoon of vegan mayo to dip my carrots and lettuce in, which was very nice, and as much as I shouldn't have had it, that's probably all the fat I've had today. So I'm not particularly sweating it on that front. I am hoping that I continue on feeling this good because the last couple of days have been absolutely phenomenal. The thing that I've noticed the most is that, now something I should say to preface this is that I am the world's biggest soda junkie. I had a lot of allergies as a kid. Well, not a lot of allergies, but I had one particular allergy. I was allergic to oranges. And I think I still am allergic to oranges. I've only really tried a couple of orange things, and it's always ended with me getting an itchy throat and tongue and feeling sick. So I am assuming that I am still allergic to oranges. But because of that, I couldn't drink like orange juice or anything like the other kids. I never really liked drinking milk until I got pregnant, and then all of a sudden I was drinking gallons of the stuff. So I couldn't really, and I hated water. So from a very young age, I drank a lot of Diet Lemonade, Diet Coke. I'm amazed I still have teeth because of the amount of soda I drank. And then when I moved in with my first housemate, we would each get through a 2-litre bottle of Coke per day. When I think about the amount of money I've probably spent on fizzy drink, it frightens me. It really does, because it's just an inordinate amount of fizzy drink. Well, normally in a day, I will have between 3 and 5 cans of fizzy pop a day. Diet, but still not great for you because you've got the aspartame, all of the chemicals, the carbonation. It's not good for your teeth. It's not good for your body. And I am actually reading things online that actually suggest that possibly drinking diet soda actually causes you to retain weight rather than lose it. So, all in all, it was probably a good thing for me to start thinking about cutting out the diet soda. But the way that it happened was completely bizarre to me, because I woke up Sunday morning. Now, Saturday I'd had a fruit smoothie and a salad, and I will confess that Saturday I drank a few Diet Cokes. I woke up Sunday morning and just didn't reach for the Diet Coke. There was no dramatic downing of the can, I'm never going to drink this again. No, there was none of that. There was just, I didn't pick up a Diet Coke. Instead, I had a bottle of water. Well, I don't buy disposable bottles of water because they're so bad for the environment. But I have one of those tap thingies in my fridge with a filter on it. So I just kept going back to that with my water bottle and kept refilling it. If I wanted a bit of flavour, I'd squirt a little bit of that Mio stuff in there. And that was it. I just drank and drank and drank until I'd had about 3 or 4 litres of water. And then all of a sudden, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I had some water before bed. And that was it. I was just done. And then I got up today and I thought maybe today I'll be a little bit more tired. I might want a Diet Coke. But I got up today and didn't have my usual Diet Coke again. I haven't touched any soda now for 2 days. And even when I had teeth taken out, I had 2 teeth, one on each side, that simultaneously erupted in abscesses. And both teeth were completely ruined. The cavities were so big that they basically said, these teeth have to come out. So, I had the teeth taken out, and I knew that drinking soda just after a major tooth extraction was going to be a bad idea. But I still did it, and I still drank Diet Coke, even though it hurt like hell. How addicted was I? How addicted was I to Diet Coke that I drank it even when it was causing me bodily pain? And sometimes I get that thing. Anyone who drinks fizzy pop will tell you about that experience. When you're really thirsty, you grab a pop, you chug it, and then all of a sudden it's like it forms a bubble in your throat and it burns all the way down and it really hurts. And you sort of double up in pain and you have to burp to get the gas out. And really, it's not what your body needs. And it wouldn't be painful if it wasn't for the carbonation, because I've come back from a walk with my son and literally chugged ice cold water and didn't feel anything. Whereas if I'd done that with a Diet Coke, I would have been bent double trying to burp, trying to get the gases out of my throat. So it just goes to show that it's not doing you any good. But for me to have been that addicted, to have suddenly just stopped. I'm not going to say I'm never going to drink a diet soda again, because I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future. I might suddenly wake up in 3 or 4 days' time craving a Diet Coke, and I might have one. But they're not going to be the norm anymore. I'm definitely enjoying drinking more water. One thing I have noticed is that, I don't know if it was evident in my first video, but my lips were really dehydrated to the point where you can see where they're recovering here. They're still a bit dry and peely. But they were so bad that my lips were grey. and I could sit there, and I did it on quite a regular basis. I could sit there and start at one corner of my mouth and peel off a whole layer of my lip, just from one side to the other. And it was the grossest thing. But my lips were so dry and so chapped and so dehydrated. And it never occurred to me that that could actually be because I wasn't drinking any water, save for maybe a cup of water a night when I cleaned my teeth. So it never actually occurred to me that maybe I needed to drink more water in order to hydrate my skin. And now all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I'm feeling great. I've got energy. I mean, normally my normal day consists of sitting on the couch watching children's TV with my son and playing with him. Today I got up, I did things. I didn't just sit with my son and watch TV. And that's like a massive change. I mean, the fact that we went out walking today. I can't remember the last time I took him for a walk, and that's not benefiting him any more than it's not benefiting me. Because he needs to get out and see the world and get fresh air. He can't just sit cooped up in the house all day. So I am glad that I'm getting out. I'm glad that I've got more energy. I'm glad that I'm starting to feel really good. I'm starting to feel more motivated. I want to do things. I want to get things done. I don't just want to just sit and stare at the walls all day, which is kind of how I was starting to feel. I was feeling very fatigued. I was feeling very worn out with life. And at first I blamed that on having just given birth, and I was saying, but really, I mean, birth, it hurts. I'm not going to lie. Giving birth hurts. And you hurt for a few days afterwards. I mean, my muscles were sore. My stomach muscles and my leg muscles particularly were sore for a good week after I gave birth. But I wasn't any more tired. I mean, I was getting used to getting up 3 or 4 times a night at the time. I mean, now it's nothing like that. He gets up a couple of times for my husband and a couple of times for me. And he's really a very good sleeper. He sleeps for about 4 hours at a time. So I couldn't even blame it on that. And yet I was so fatigued all the time. I was constantly yawning. I constantly had like big dark circles under my eyes. I have to take melatonin because I'm melatonin deficient, which means that, for those of you that don't know what melatonin is a hormone that is released in the brain when it gets dark that tells your body it's time to go to sleep. Well, there's been a big craze over the last few years of buying melatonin supplements. And people saying, they help you sleep, blah, blah, blah. And they do. But what my doctor told me was that melatonin supplements, if you aren't melatonin deficient, melatonin supplements will stop working after a few weeks. And you'll either start sleeping normally or you won't. But melatonin supplements will no longer be effective. You'll find that they don't work. Whereas if you're melatonin deficient, they will continue to work for years and years and years. And that's what's happened with me. I have to take a nightly dose of melatonin in order to sleep. And I'm hoping that maybe raw vegan can cure that, but I'm not hoping. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm not going to say, oh my God, it'd be so great if that happened, because I know the likelihood isn't. My brain just does not produce enough melatonin for me to go to sleep. I have had chronic insomnia since I was about 12 years old. So I'm not hoping for any miracles, but it would be nice. But what I found is I'm sleeping a lot cleaner. I'm sleeping nicely. I'm getting good quality sleep, and when I wake up, I feel refreshed, as opposed to waking up feeling like death. So that's a nice change. Anyway, I'm going to end it there because my quick video is now about to run over the 15-minute mark. Oops. So I'll leave it there and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.